So welcome back. In this session, we're gonna have a bit more of a look at how the Space Invader class, how this all works together. So let's get started. We're first gonna have to import it, of course, from core dot Space Invader import Space Invader. I'll say Space Invader is Space Invader, and we'll say health is 100, x coordinate 0. Or actually we're gonna make, yeah, y coordinate is 100, speed x is 10, and y incrementation is also 10. And I'm still, that's because I'm missing an L here. Now it's important to point out, my typing skills are abysmal. It's important to point out that the class name has camel case, and Space Invader is snake case, which is pep8. And again, I refer you to have a look at that, because it's really it really helps to make your work consistent, and making your work consistent makes it better at the end of the day. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna plot the movement of the Space Invader over time. So from matplotlib, import matplotlib pyplot as plt. And I have to add it, settings plus matplotlib. There you go, install package. Ugh, I hate waiting. Let me pause this so you don't have. So that's done. And I'm gonna say for turn in or actually I don't have to name it, but for underscore in range 100. And underscore means I'm not going to be using this value, right? So I'll say Space Invader dot update position, and say and width of screen width is going to be let me have 50. And say plt dot scatter Space Invader dot x coordinate Space Invader dot y coordinate plt xlim, which is going to be 0 to 50 because that's my screen width, and that's plt dot ylim is going to be 0 and 50 as well. I'm going to show it. And you'll see, why does it not show up? That's interesting. Print Space Invader dot x coordinate. And debugging, honestly, the best method to debug is print coordinates, at least in the beginning. So and I'm gonna say I'll add an x here. plt dot scatter. Oh, y coordinates 100 here. I'll make this 50. That explains it. And actually, we'll make this 60 so it's easy to see. Or no, let's make the screens rectangular, square. There, that's nice. We can run this, stop and rerun. Screw not. Ugh. This should just work. Here we go. So, and you see it moves to the right. It's going to come to the edge. And now it moves down and across. So that's so it works the way we wanted it to work. That's nice. Thing is, if it's we can also just move this slightly to the left, and you'll see it moves from left to right, down and across. But it goes down and moves to the left directly, and I want to go down and then left on the next turn. So let's add that. I'm going to change that here. If so, I can add an else statement here. Else, of course, if we're going to the other direction, we have to do the same thing, right? So now you see that this is becoming this code here is very similar. So I think I'll try to rewrite this or make a function that I call, so I don't have so much overlapping code here in the next video. Here we go, stop and rerun. And you see now it goes from left to right, and then it goes down and across and down and across, down and across. But it goes down way too much because it stops. When y reaches 0, it should stop, and it doesn't. So I am gonna have to add an yeah, I'm gonna have to add something in that, and I'm gonna say game running. I'm gonna add game running is true, and I'm gonna make this a while loop. While game running, update position. I'm gonna say game running is space invader, update position, and then if self.y coordinate is smaller or equal to 0, return false, return true. Actually, that's not a good way to check. I'm gonna add a new function here. You should always try to have each function only do one thing. So def check if reached bottom self, and then return self the y coordinate smaller or equal than 0. So this is the same as if self the y coordinate is smaller or equal than 0, return false. Actually, this is wrong, because this is going to check if it's smaller than 0, and it should be larger than 0. If it's larger than 0, it will return true. If it's smaller than 0, it will return false. But we want to check if it's reached the bottom. Yeah, no, if it's smaller or equal to 0, it has reached the bottom, right? We can agree on that. So then we say if space invader dot reached bottom. Actually, we don't need to add a check if. We can just say reach bottom. Check if space invader reached the bottom of the screen. Let me go here. I think that's a better variable name. So it's worth rewriting it, because it's going to be clearer to read in the future. Check if space invader reached bottom, game running is false. So now we rerun this, and you see there's only one dot at the bottom, right? It's going to go across, down, across, down, across, down, across, down, and it stops. I can actually make this into a list. So we'll say x points, just to illustrate it slightly better, y points is, and we'll say x points dot append space invader dot x coordinate, y points dot append space invader dot y coordinate, and then we'll say plt dot plot x points versus y points, and that nicely goes down, across, down. We change the x limits a little bit so you can see it slightly more, so it goes out of the screen. Minus 10. So you see it goes across, down. So that kind of covers this session. I'm gonna of course add this to Git. I have to add matplotlib to my requirements. Matplotlib. Then we'll say here git status. Yeah, that's correct. Git add core space invader.py. Git add. I can actually add everything. I'll say git commit m added or add graph showing Space Invader movement, and I'll push this. Good push. So I hope you enjoyed it. In the next session, we're gonna have a little bit more of a look at how we can implement the player.